She didn't arrive with noise. She arrived with presence. And in a world obsessed with being seen, she became unforgettable. From silence to standing ovations. From the shadows to the world's biggest red carpets. From a name few could pronounce to one that changed history. And behind the elegance, the awards, and the global admiration is a journey far more complex than fame. Because this kind of success doesn't happen by accident. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy stories like this, subscribe. You won't want to miss what comes next. Before the accolades, there is the reality of where she stands today. As of January 2026, her estimated net worth sits at approximately $10 million US, translating to nearly 1.29 billion Kenyan shillings. This figure is an estimate, a reflection of years of deliberate choices rather than flashy excess. Her wealth flows primarily from a career that rewrote Hollywood expectations. Major film roles, long-term franchise success, and performances that carry both critical and commercial weight. But acting is only one pillar. Global endorsement deals, including her long-standing partnership with Lancome, elevated her into a different financial bracket, blending artistry with influence and advocacy with brand power. Her annual earnings alone are estimated to reach hundreds of millions of shillings, even in years when she chooses fewer projects. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy stories like this, subscribe. You won't want to miss what comes next. PPPPPPPPPP. Luxury for her is quiet. She resides primarily in Los Angeles, in a private Topanga mountain home valued at approximately 593 million Kenyan shillings. An oasis with panoramic views, layered privacy, and architectural restraint, designed not to impress outsiders, but to restore the person inside. Before that, her life was rooted in New York, where she lived among the creative pulse of Brooklyn, in spaces defined by light, intention, and simplicity. When in Kenya, she returns not to spectacle, but to home, her family's expansive farm near Kisumu, a reminder that grounding often matters more than grandeur. She doesn't flaunt car collections. She favors comfort, security, and discretion, often chauffeured luxury SUVs, occasionally linked to high-end vehicles like the Porsche Cayenne. Her lifestyle speaks less of consumption and more of control. But this level of calm success didn't always exist. Because before wealth, there was uncertainty. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy stories like this, subscribe. You won't want to miss what comes next. Before the Oscars, before the standing ovations, before the world learned how to say her name, there was a young girl navigating identity across continents. Born in Mexico, raised between Kenya and the United States. Daughter of a prominent Kenyan academic and politician, yet determined to earn her place without shortcuts. She studied film, then acting, not because fame was guaranteed, but because storytelling felt necessary. Her early years were filled with auditions that led nowhere. Moments of doubt, and the quiet pressure of being different in rooms that rewarded familiarity. Then came the role that changed everything. A debut so powerful it stunned Hollywood. Her portrayal in 12 Years a Slave was not just noticed, it was historic. An Academy Award followed. Global attention followed. But so did expectation. Suddenly, she was no longer just an actress. She was a symbol. What followed was a careful, almost surgical selection of roles. She refused to be boxed, refused to repeat herself. From independent films to global franchises like Black Panther, she built a career that balanced cultural impact with global appeal, redefining what African excellence could look like on screen. And still, she never rushed. She allowed gaps between projects, chose growth over saturation, and prioritized meaning over momentum. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy stories like this, subscribe. You won't want to miss what comes next. Despite global visibility, her private life remains intentionally guarded. She is never married. She has no children. And she has been honest about navigating societal pressure, especially as a woman whose success often invites unsolicited expectations. Her most recent public relationship ended quietly in late 2024. Since then, she has embraced solitude with clarity, even humor, joking that the only man in her life is her cat, Yo-Yo. But beneath the lightness is depth. She has spoken openly about self-worth, loneliness, and the emotional cost of being constantly admired, yet deeply misunderstood. Family remains central. She is one of 6 siblings, a daughter, a sister, a woman who still listens when her mother gently asks about grandchildren, even if she chooses her own timeline. Her advocacy work, particularly around representation, literacy, and self-image, reflects someone deeply aware that influence is not guaranteed forever, but impact can be lasting. Quick pause. Subscribe for more cinematic Kenyan stories redefining success. Few people know that she once struggled deeply with visibility, not fame, but feeling seen as enough. Early in her career, she battled insecurities about skin tone, accent, and belonging in an industry that often rewards sameness. She has openly discussed moments of self-doubt after her Oscar win, the fear of being a one-moment wonder. What surprised many was her response. Instead of chasing roles relentlessly, she stepped back, trained more, read more, waited. She also speaks fluent Spanish, is deeply involved in literature, and has written children's books centered on identity and belonging. Even controversy has never pulled her into chaos. She addresses criticism with clarity, not combat. Perhaps the most unexpected truth. She doesn't see herself as finished, not complete, not settled, just evolving. And that quiet hunger, that refusal to be defined by one moment, may be her greatest strength. If this story shifted how you see success, like the video and subscribe. We tell the stories others overlook. And from a young girl navigating 2 worlds to a global icon redefining excellence without apology. Her story isn't just about success. It's about intention, about choosing depth over noise, purpose over performance, and legacy over headlines. And maybe that's why her presence lingers long after the screen fades to black. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like. Subscribe for more cinematic documentaries like this. And let us know in the comments, which story should we tell next? Because some journeys deserve to be remembered, not rushed.